Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Jewish community of Chattanooga, Tennessee. It is my pleasure and my honor to speak to you today on behalf of the biggest women organization in Israel, Naamat. But before I begin, I would like to congratulate Hadass Peled, your shlicha, for choosing such an important issue, such an important subject as her main subject for the exhibition, the status of women in Israel in the past and now in the present, and I believe also in the future. I'm very happy to be part of this presentation, and I thank you, Hadass, and I thank all of you for taking the time to listen to me speaking about Naamat. So as I said, Naamat is the largest and leading women's movement in Israel. Naamat's top priority is to advance and strengthen the status of women in the family, in the workforce, and in society. In Naamat, we strive to achieve equality between the sexes and full participation of women in social, economic, and political spheres. We believe it is our duty and obligation to represent and lobby for the empowerment of working women in Israel. Naamat, previously called Moetzet HaPoalot, that means Council of Working Women, was established in 1921 by young working women, pioneers who came to Palestine in the early 1900s. Moetzet HaPoalot was organized as an autonomous movement with affiliation to the Histadrut, which is the General Federation of Labor. Naamat today is a social-political, multi-party women's movement comprised of women from diverse sectors of the population, communities, countries of origin, and religious streams. Naamat employs 5,000 women and men working for the various services which are provided. Naamat is a world movement and sister organization with sister organizations in 9 different countries. Of course, the biggest one is in the United States. We strive to strengthen the bond and the solidarity between Naamat Israel and its counterparts abroad. We wish to strengthen our relations with other organizations and institutions with similar goals throughout the world. We act on 2 main levels which complement one another. On the public level, Naamat mobilizes and leads women to bring about social changes by initiating campaigns to influence public opinion and increase public awareness. We work to reinforce women's awareness of their rights and value in the workforce while pursuing employers to adapt for the special needs of the woman and her family. To be honest, now actually we don't speak only about women, we speak in family in general, and we're adopting that working places will be friendly to young families. To achieve those goals, we do the next things. We initiate legislation. We take part in Knesset committees. We organize protests and demonstrations. We file petitions to the Supreme Court. We publish information and organize lectures and leadership seminars and workshops. On the communal level, Naamat provides support services to women, children, and families in Israel. Educational programs we have, daycare center, technological high schools, agricultural residential high schools, scholarships for women for academic studies, grants for PhD research on gender, professional training programs for women. We render social services for individuals and groups, legal counseling, intervention, treatment and prevention of domestic violence, support groups for single-parent families, cultural enrichment programs for women. Naamat can be found in every corner in the country. That is why we are fully aware of the changing needs of women and families. We make every effort to adopt our agenda based on those changes while anticipating future needs. We approach every challenge with an open mind and with innovative thinking, and we take action with compassion and faith. All those elements work together in order to create a better quality of life for the women and her family in Israel. Now I would like to elaborate a little about the services I pointed out before. I would like to start with our early childhood education network. Naamat, the movement of the advancement of status of women in Israel, operates a network of 280 daycare centers for over 20,000 infants and toddlers from the age of 3 months to 4 years. The centers are located in large cities, frontier settlements, development towns, agriculture settlements, and Arab villages. The Naamat daycare centers make it possible for working mothers to remain in their jobs even when their children are very young. The centers enroll children from families in distress, providing financial assistance through a special support fund. Tens of thousands of parents throughout the country are able to go to work worry-free, knowing that their children are in the hands of loving, caring staff. The educational programs in the daycare centers include enrichment activities, special physical development programs, and conscious raising in regard to gender equality starting at a very young age. Activity corners in the centers and the pedagogic equipment enable the child to choose freely an activity in accordance with his or her needs and skills. Naamat nurtures the concept of warm, home-like environment while focusing on the advancement and development of the child. This is just a little about this issue, and now I would like to elaborate about the Women and Family Rights Centers, which we call also the Legal Aid Bureaus. Naamat operates 30 legal aid bureaus throughout the country. Obviously, the biggest one is in Tel Aviv, my region. Four Women and Family Rights Centers provide the following services to over 10,000 women annually each year. Legal consulting on matters of personal status. Legal consulting on work-related issues. Legal consulting for victims of domestic violence. Legal consulting for single-parent families with special needs. Drafting premarital agreements. Parental agreements, wills and bequests, meditation, family consulting, economic and financial consulting, workshop and support groups. Each year, Naamat attorneys file approximately 7 to 8 petitions to the Supreme Court, sitting at High Court of Justice, in regard of the status of women and related issues. Naamat attorneys propose legislative initiatives to the Knesset, the Israeli Parliament, on the matters concerning women's rights. As I told you before, we also have something that is quite unique, which is our technological education network. The Naamat, again repeating and saying, the movement of the advancement of the status of women operates 20 technological high schools throughout the country, including 10 schools in the Arab sector. In addition, the education networks has 2 residential agriculture high schools in Ayanot and in Kanot. 3,500 students are educated in our technological high schools. Those schools give a second chance to thousands of students who did not succeed in the standard educational system. We provide individualized attention in classes limited to a small number of students, between 16 to 20 per classroom, while the normal size in Israel for a classroom is unfortunately, between 30 to 35 children in a classroom. In addition to the basic subject, the courses taught in the technological high schools include communication, photography, computer programming and graphics, fashion, interior design, jewelry, hairdressing, office administration, and bookkeeping. Which actually, what means it's, of course, a vocational schools. Those are vocational schools. We provide modern and updated equipment, computer and photography laboratories. Teenage girls and boys complete their high school studies successfully as they combine theoretical studies with technological vocational training. A growing number of students pass the matriculation exams successfully. Many new immigrants from Ethiopia and the former Soviet Union are enrolled in the Naamat High School network. All students receive a well-rounded education under the supervision of a dedicated staff who work to install pride, self-confidence, and a sense of accomplishment into every student. I would like to add some words about Tel Aviv. As you already know, and I guess this is the way I was presented, I'm the chairperson of Naamat Tel Aviv region. And as which is the biggest region in the Naamat organization, we have 19 daycare centers educating 1,800 children just in those daycare centers. And we have another 26 classes for after kindergarten education clubs, where we have another 650 children. In addition, we also have the legal bureau, as I said, the centers, where we have about 10 lawyers and volunteers who give also some economic assistance to women who need the help for that cause. And we have community centers in Tel Aviv, where I think this is the most of my pride, where we all the time promote gender equality and gender justice. Because I believe that, as I said before, this is the most important thing. We have to bring to awareness to all women and men of gender equality. We are not there yet. We have done a lot. We will do a lot in the future. We are still doing a lot to help that happen, but it has to be done more and more. And if we have more people who believe in that, then we can achieve much more till we will reach the full equality. We always have to remember that 51% of the population of Israel are women, but we don't have the same representation, and we strive to have that representation. Well, I could speak to you a lot more about it. I think it would be wonderful if it could be live and we could have a discussion about all what I have told you, but as we can't do that, and you still have a very interesting evening in front of you, I wouldn't take more of your time, but I definitely tell you and ask you and suggest that if you have any questions to me, you are more than welcome to approach me by my email. Hadass has, of course, my address, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that arise from this small talk or speech that I gave you about Naamat. I also hope that maybe after what I have told you about Naamat, you will also maybe establish a branch of Naamat, also in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It will be really my pleasure, and I will have the feeling of full achievement if that will happen. If you'll need my help for that, again, don't hesitate to approach me. So again, I want to congratulate you about this wonderful exhibition that you are opening today, and hope you'll have a nice evening and hope to hear you soon. Thank you very much.